everybody. We are in Boyce Park today, and we are with Stephania and Andi, and we are going to talk about the neighborhood Stonehaven. So why is this your favorite neighborhood?
I think it's my favorite neighborhood because it's mature, but it still has newness.
Yeah.
It's diverse. Like you can look around us right now. There are grandparents here with their grandchildren, and
Multi-generational. Yeah.
multi-generational, and like just on my street alone. I have a neighbor, they're retired from the city. It's a couple, and they actually came with the neighborhood.
Oh,
So they're the historians of the neighborhood.
that is so cool.
That is cool. And then right across the street and next door to me, I have people who are brand new to the neighborhood. So I love the mixing of all the different people and
Yeah.
to learn their journeys and learn what brought them to this part of Charlotte.
That's good character to the neighborhood to have
Oh, absolutely.
just to have the, you know, the context of, young generations, older generations, all of that. What do you like about it?
So I really love the architecture and the shade.
Mhm.
There's
Yes.
tons of mature trees, and driving through, you really get to enjoy a lot of the features for the houses, but also really enjoy their landscaping. It's mature and just really lush and lovely.
Well, and it's nice that
Yeah.
it's not so homogenous. You get all of
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love that. I was also going to say the lush landscaping. I do love that everyone is just invested. Everyone wants it to be a great place to live. Everyone wants to build community. And
Sure.
and that's one of the greatest things about living in Stonehaven.
Is there a HOA in the traditional sense as far as that, or it's just, and that's okay, because a lot of
Yeah.
times with an HOA, sometimes people say I don't want an HOA because they don't want somebody to say like you can't plant this type of flowers or those kind of things. But then when you have a neighborhood where everybody's really vested, you get the same effect.
Yeah.
Of
Yes.
they're taking care of their yards and it's pretty and we're all doing things together. For
Yes,
sure.
I love that. Yeah, I love the community. Like I've done a driveway pop up with inviting my friends who own local small businesses in my driveway, and I
love
put
that,
out
yeah.
signs, and people come and they talk, and they're just so excited that someone's doing something in the neighborhood, and they all can be a part of it.
Yeah.
And again, it's just community.
Now, about how many homes are in that neighborhood?
In Stonehaven, I think there's about 500, 500 to 600 homes.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And then what about sales price range?
Price range, wow. So this part of South Charlotte could be anywhere from 350 all the way up to, $1 million or two.
Sure,
Just
because
to
there are some people, I assume some people are doing some remodels and things like that.
remodels, there's new builds
Yeah.
right outside of Stonehaven. There's a community coming up that's gated. It's all very large homes. I think there's a spot for maybe 20 homes in that development. So yeah, it depends on how much you want to spend. Yeah.
And what about home size or square footage, kind of average bedroom count?
Yeah, so average bedroom count is three bedrooms, 2.5 baths. But also when I moved into my home, it was 5 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and then we finished out the basement.
Nice.
So, all of the homes are very sizable. There are a few homes that are, a little bit smaller, but on average, 3 bedrooms.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think with all those nice features, I'm sure days on market is probably pretty low. What's kind of the average days on market?
Well, here lately, I just did a couple of videos for my neighborhood, and the days on market were, ranging from a month to 40 days.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say that's too bad. Yeah.
That's pretty obtainable. I
Yeah.
like that. What's the best kept secret about the neighborhood?
It's quiet.
Yeah.
It's quiet, like right now.
Right.
There's all these little pockets of beautiful landscaping. I like to sit outside when it's cold, and there's all these places that you can do that in. I think there are parts of the neighborhood that are very affordable, and I think that that's also good because you get a really mixture of people coming in and out of the neighborhood. I think in terms of building, raising family, or even if you're someone who's a bit older, I have neighbors who are retired. Again, it all goes back to that feeling of community.
I was going to say exactly. It's an actual community versus it's kind of like sometimes neighborhoods, have certain popularity because they might, it's all young kids, and that's
Mhm.
great because then everybody's playing together, or then it's, it's mostly retired, and that's great as well. But it's also nice to have
Yeah.
all that diversity and it feel like an actual community versus just,
Absolutely.
same.
Mhm. And that's definitely the vibe of the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And I think everyone watches out for each other. So
That's-
that's really
yeah.
cool too.
That's what a real neighbor is.
That's true.
Yes.
And that's something we don't see as often now,
Yeah.
I feel, So
For
it's
sure.
good to have that. I enjoy that.
So how did you become a realtor? What drew you to this business?
So I have been in and around real estate since I moved to Charlotte, which was about 8 years ago. And really, my friends who were realtors, my buddies, the possibility of being able to work with like-minded women,
Mhm.
Women who wanted to create a working place that was non-toxic, non-judgmental, welcoming,
What a
and
novel
supportive.
concept.
I know, right? And it's all the things that we have struggled to overcome in other environments.
Yeah.
So that possibility was wonderful. Of course, there is the appeal of helping people find their home.
Mhm.
We have a family right now, a family of 4 who's purchasing a home, and they are so excited and they can't wait to move in
Mhm.
and make it their own.
Mhm.
And so that's amazing that
Yeah.
we get to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And then I think, I do have some chronic health issues.
Mhm.
So to be able to work from home
Mhm.
and work behind the scenes,
Mhm.
that is a blessing.
For sure.
Mhm.
Absolutely. It's wonderful when you can have your work fit within your life
Right.
versus, you feel like you have to, live to work.
Yeah.
How about you?
So I come from a real estate family,
Mhm.
and I was a real estate agent in California for a couple of years. When I moved to the East Coast, I did a couple of other things. I ran a business. I owned multiple locations in a business, and I really missed being in real estate. I missed the excitement of the hunt with a client who is like dogged and knows what they're after, and I am like joining this fight with them, and like, we're gonna find it. This is going to happen, whatever it is. So I really started to miss that entire adventure, and I gained my license back here, and I have now been a realtor for 5 years here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
so it's all I love.
Well, and that's when it kind of gets in your blood, you're just
Yep.
like, I can't imagine doing
I
anything
can't
else.
imagine.
It's just, it's
And
fantastic.
like, I have done other things that were really wonderful.
Yeah.
And I still am like, I would really rather be in a house. I would rather be in a house no matter what condition it's in. I'm
Yes.
like, I'm prepared for that conversation.
Yes. And
So-
you can tell when people love it and it's
Yep.
more than a job.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
So then now, how did y'all meet? How did y'all come together as a team?
So we met. Andi was a part of another real estate team, and we met that way. We were at a party one night, and we were sitting at a table full of women, and we all just enjoyed the
Just
conversation.
clicked. Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Fantastic.
True.
And then how long have y'all been working together?
So about 2 years working together,
Mhm.
and we've been friends for
Yes.
about 4 years.
Very nice.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of things together. We've gone through a lot of things together, and we definitely have a great sympathetic relationship that
Yeah.
really helps us serve people in sort of like a double support way.
Yeah.
Like 2 heads are better than 1, but we also hyper support each other and hyper support our clients. So
And that's so key,
that's what
especially
drives us.
thinking about the last 2 years in the market
Yep.
and
Oh,
all
yeah.
of that. It's,
Yes.
Because so much of this can feel like you're on an island.
Yes.
Even if you're with a great company, maybe
Yep.
even on a great team, but really when you find a partner that complements and their strengths complement your weaknesses and vice
Yes.
versa,
Mhm.
it just really makes everything better.
It does. I definitely feel like aligning our together and our business has sort of like put us on the right path for, I guess, like pulling what we're looking for, pulling it towards us rather
Yeah.
than chasing it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of what we're after. And when that feels good, everything else just sort of falls into place. So yeah.
So what do you love about being a realtor?
Oh, I love pretty much everything except the paperwork about being a realtor. There's a ton of paperwork. If you make a decision, it's paperwork. If you make a change, it's paperwork.
Tell me about
If somebody needs something extra, it's
Relate.
paperwork, And there's many times, where I'm like, I want to be there with my client. I want to be showing houses more. I want to be doing
Sure.
this more. So those little task-oriented things are the things I don't love, and everything else, for 100%.
Perfect. What do you love about it?
I mean, of course, it's working with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Also being able to be a part of someone else's dream,
Mm-hmm.
creating,
Mm-hmm.
generational wealth for a family,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to help them achieve their goals. So I feel like that is so important. I've always been in some sort of community service. I used to work in nonprofit. I worked for the Alzheimer's Association for 15 years, and my background is all healthcare nonprofit. So coming out of that and going into real estate, there really is a great opportunity to serve people and to help people.
Take the altruistic approach.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think our relationship is so organic. Both of us are just, we are naturally attracted to making people's lives better, and enhancing people, showing them what could be,
Now, what do you not like about it? Or is it the paperwork?
You know what? The paperwork, I think what I don't like about it is the computer problems.
Oh,
Excuse me.
You're like, okay, I put in this search. I should be pulling up homes and I'm getting nothing.
Yeah.
The technology can be difficult. All of the regulations, all of the things that you have to submit. So not so much the paperwork, but the actual, how do I get everything where it needs to be?
Yeah.
So, and oftentimes those systems are not cooperating.
Right. They don't talk to each other.
No, they don't talk to each other, but they have to be in place. So I think that's probably, the tech issues are probably a big deal.
Because it slows you down from doing what you love.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
It really does. We did our inspection with clients, and we ended up, I had to print all of this paper. Excuse me. And as our clients were signing at the inspection, one of them looks over and tells Andi, I like DocuSign. And we're like, we do too, but it didn't work. So now we have to do...
Big fan of e-signing, but sometimes e-signing doesn't work.
Absolutely. So that's the hard part.
Yeah, I can see that. Now, what is one of your real estate success stories?
I think just making it to the finish line, delivering what we said we would to our clients, being able to put the right people around them, the right resources, and, they're forever a part of our world,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you talk about the team. That's what I think is so important, because I tell people, a big part of my job is solving problems that you don't know that you have.
Yes.
Or before you have them.
Yes, absolutely.
And that because before we started filming, you said something that was so poignant, was it's very expensive to think that you're smarter than, a realtor or lender, because that's what we're
here to do.
for, is to foresee those issues based off our experience and knowledge
100.
and all that, and look out for you. So that's very true.
It is true.
Now, what's one of your craziest real estate stories?
I'm blessed to have many.
Oh, I love that approach.
I'm blessed. I believe that something about working with me lets people really, really be themselves. And I love it. I'm here for all of that.
That's when you're doing a good job.
I'm doing a great job. I'm
Yeah.
making you super comfortable, and weird things happen.
Yeah.
So my craziest is having a client who truly was demanding a duffel bag of cash for their closing as a seller. She's laughing because it was so unbelievable.
Wow. That's a new one.
It was a new one, and I mean, they were trying to hold up the closing in order for us to make this happen. And so how do you set the expectation ahead of time that this is not going to be a truly cash transaction? You're going to have to report it to the government. I have to report it to, there's all these things in place
The attorney is going, this is
to
not
make
happening.
this legal, and that does not involve me in a nylon duffel bag.
Sure.
It's sort of like, so that's my craziest, is working through that, and it had already been a crazy transaction. So at the end of it, I was like, you do want $200,000 in cash in a duffel bag. Yeah. So no hitman action here,
Perfect. Yeah.
like we don't have any of those accessories. That's just not how we roll. So
No dark shades. And
no dark shades,
trench
no
coats.
trench coats.
Okay.
Right. So like we go to the closing table with an attorney every time,
Yes.
and we expect that that's going to be a wire or a check.
Yes.
All these official things. But now I know I have to stipulate.
Yes.
I have to stipulate.
Sometimes you don't. It's and that's what I always talk to people. It's like, listen, you don't know what you don't know.
Correct.
And that's the reason that, again, having a good team, matters. but sometimes it's like, okay, did not know that I needed to tell you.
Never could have
that
seen
you
that
would
coming.
not get a bag of cash.
No.
I mean, as much as like baller as that would be to just
I
like,
would love
walk
it.
out. I mean, like,
With stacks.
right, but it's like, we're going to deposit it in your account, and then if you want to go and withdraw it
Correct.
and put it in a bag, I might even buy
Carry
you
it
the bag.
however you like. All right,
It'll be your
I'll buy the
closing
bag. You got it. I'll buy the bag. Yeah, so that's my craziest.
That's a good one.
And we did end up, okay, so to like round it out, we didn't end up having them have to open a bank account as they did not have one.
Okay.
And they had to go through all the proper channels. It did delay closing.
Sure.
And we had to put it all on paper. So there's no chance of, that happening.
And now you can head it off the next time.
And now next time,
By
right?
the way, you will get a wire, or
Yes.
you will, yes, that
Yes.
makes sense.
So yeah, and it's like, never mind, just go ahead.
We can talk about that later. Now, what with this market? I mean, it's like when will we not be talking about this market? I feel like we started talking about a tight market back in 2018.
Yep.
What is your biggest advice for buyers right now?
My biggest advice for buyers, and we've been talking about this a lot lately, is not to be afraid of the interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
Because interest rates fluctuate,
Mm-hmm.
and you can always refinance,
Mhm.
and you've got some options there.
Yeah.
I think the thing that is not optional is finding the right home at the right price.
Right.
And so if that's your drawback, if you're holding back because of the interest rates, you might miss out on a great property. And, that saying, the best time to buy real estate is yesterday.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
if you're ready, if, all of your dots or ducks are in a row, go for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go for it. And the interest rate, we can work it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The house, it's kind of like location, right?
Absolutely.
The house matters. That's what's more permanent. The rates can vary.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What
Mhm.
about, same thing, but kind of a different spin. Certainly a lot of people, when the market, has gotten so hot, and we're getting there again, right? Because even though, with higher rates, people want homes.
Yep.
Life changes.
Sure.
People want to be a homeowner. What kind of advice are you giving buyers when they say, well, because they're scared that they're going to be buying at the top of the market? Like, surely if this market is so hot, it's going to crash or it's going to come down. So what kind of advice are you giving to kind of ease those concerns?
So nobody has a crystal ball. We can't predict what's going to happen right now while you're under contract next year. What we can predict is that if you're staying within your affordability and you're being true to your needs, that's what matters. The rest of it can be figured out, like Stephania said, in a refi, or you could just consider this as you are now in the real estate game. You can later sell it, do whatever you want, and now you have a small nest egg to maybe move forward when interest rates are different, when you have a better idea of what you're looking for, but to not get in the real estate game to try and time it and to try and make it perfect.
Yeah.
There's no perfect time to have a child. There's no perfect time to buy a home.
Right.
There's no perfect time to get married.
Right.
And we just have to sort of like eschew this expectation of perfection
yeah.
and say, like, do you want to be a homeowner or do you want to rent? Because that rent gets you nothing.
Right.
Right.
Ever.
And you
Right.
have to live somewhere.
And you
Right. Right. And that's
Right.
the thing.
These are the choices.
People
Yeah.
have to live somewhere. So,
Right.
so there's, it's at least there's the option to stabilize your housing costs.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Build equity over time.
Absolutely.
And even though, renting can be the right choice for some people,
Sure.
and if they don't know that it's the permanence,
Mhm.
but if you know that you're here, if you want to plant roots, if you want that community, if you
That's
want, that thing, at a certain point, it might not be ideal, but it
Mhm.
still can be very, very good.
It is. And I think it's really important to remember these are the highest rates that we have seen recently.
Yeah.
But these are not the highest rates on record. These are
Yeah.
not the highest rates in the history of your lifetime, your lifetime,
Yeah.
my lifetime.
Mhm.
And so I think to just be really realistic and say, okay, so rates have gone up, but they are not they're not prohibiting you to buy a home. They may just be changing what you're able to afford, and that just happens.
Yeah.
It happens the other way too.
It does. It definitely does. Well, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. Thank you for sharing your neighborhood with me.
You're welcome.
And I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, thanks, guys.
Thank you.